Hello, everyone. I'm some jerk on the internet, and it is time for an unexpected stream. I was made aware by the ever lovely Rosina that Hovind had said some absolutely ridiculous bullshit in his stream this morning because, as you may recall, he's now doing two streams. He calls this the TikTok stream in his little intros, but they're now titled, instead of TikTok, he now titles them 20,900 whatever days of destroying the evolution religion and garbage like that. Which, as I've mentioned before, means he's backdating his non-existent content to June of 1968. So we just played in cons. This is episode 69,421 of Wacka Hovind. Because two can play at that game, and I can have a bigger number than he did. If anyone wants to find out what day was 69,421 days ago, don't bother. I'm going to do that now, actually. What day was 69,421 days from today? Let's find out. ChatGPT is thinking. It's slow. It's slower than me. uh oh, wait. That's June 19th, 2216. So it's going to be a while. Let's see. Friday, May 1st, 1836. Yep. So I've been doing this since May 1st of 1836. That is now canonical. I am making a note of that. I shit you not. Well, you say 1836? Yeah. Sweet. I've been doing it since before Germany was a unified nation. How you like that? All right, cool. Anyway, all right, enough preamble. I got the squad in. Um, yeah. So as I said, Rosina said that Kent says some really ridiculous shit in this one, and so involving the shape of the Earth and us knowing when it became that shape, amongst other things. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun here, but let's get damn, turn off god awful movies for me. That's impressive. Very impressive. Appreciate that. All right, let's get Kent on the screen. Really don't want to do this. This does help out. I had another crummy day at work, and I'm completely fucking drained. Um, Oddly energetic for somebody who's drained, but then again, food just arrived. Actually, shit. Hang on. I think I might have forgotten to put something in the fridge. I'm gonna damn it. I don't want to miss any of Hovind. That's not normally something I would say. Hold up. I'm gonna put on some easy listening background music. Bear with me a moment. This stream's getting worse all the time. There we go. We'll go with, what does it mean outdated? What does that even mean? Whatever. Whatever. Give me a moment. I'll put some music up. Okay, music's incoming. Let me switch when I'm streaming. No, performance warning. Stop. And there we go. Share this tab instead. Okay. Okay. Give me just a moment to go check that I put everything up properly. Please enjoy this music, which will confuse the hell out of you that it exists. Because, yes, it's from the country you think it's from, but it's also a cover of the song you think it is.
출신 brother Louis. I'm in love with supreme. Oh, she's only looking to me. Only love breaks the fire, brother Louis. Only love spiritual. Oh, she's only looking to me. Brother Louis. Oh, she's only looking to me. Only big Louis. He's undercover. Brother Louis. Oh, everybody knew it. So he's Louis. 'Cause I'm a lover.
Yeah, that exists if you didn't know, as part of cultural exchange ideas in the early 90s. Panchambo Electric Ensemble did world music, which, yes, included a cover of Modern Talking's hit Brother Louie, or Brother Louis, as they wanted to say. It is just incredible that it exists in the best of ways. And Panchambo Electronics Ensemble, I rather love that group. Yeah, so it's interesting. Another song, domestic song, well, not domestic, it's German, but a Western song that I like being covered by such a particularly sounding group. It can only happen in particular circumstance. So yeah. Anyway, back to, or let's start with Kent. And yes, I had left the food out that needed to be refrigerated, and I proceeded to refrigerate it because when the food got here, the first thing I did was make myself some cereal because I wanted some damn cereal. So yeah, that's like some of the only sweet stuff I really allow myself anymore.
7, that would make him 49. Does that mean I'm getting old? No, it don't. Come on now.
And this is just immediately how these streams start. They don't have the usual intro for the most part. So yeah. Olaf, that sounds like a personal problem. You know, 9 times out of 10, coming into a Yamato stream, you're gonna get Kent Hovind. You're gonna see more of him than you see of me because I don't like it's an actual like known thing, and for some reason people act like it's a problem when it's not. Some people just don't like to be recorded, don't like to be documented in such ways. I'm one of those people. So yeah. And yes, Kent, you are old.
Happy birthday, Kent Andrew Hovind down in Pensacola. All right. I'll sing his birthday song. Ready? This is your birthday song. It isn't very
Oh god, that stupid song.
long. Happy birthday, son. I'm proud of you. Here we go. Here we go. We got a bunch of
Oh, so that was Eric, who's almost 50. Yeah, funny that you can't get in touch with them, but you still have to play the good dad role. Like you give a shit. You just want your underwear and your Swiss Army knife returned.
shows we're on, channels we're on. We're on Facebook, on Rumble, on X, on our own app, KentHovind.tv, our Instagram, and TikTok. 20,921 days of destroying the stupid evolution religion.
Except you haven't been doing that for that long, Kent. That goes back to before you were a born-again Christian, you dumbass. You can't count. You can't do basic-ass math. You just pick an arbitrary date and there you go. So I can do the same.
Just a religion you believe.
And yes, I am totally an immortal. I didn't mean to I mean to be, to leave you guys out of the loop, but I am immortal. That's the secret.
Even evolution.
I'm kind of like one of those jellyfish that are all the rage currently to talk about that are technically immortal because when they die, they don't really die. They just kind of completely regenerate themselves because their chemistry is like that. Yeah. Oh, that was Kent Andrew, not Eric. Right. Yeah, Eric was like 78, 79. Yeah. Kent Andrew was early. Then Eric, then Marlissa.
I'll show you. Somebody sent me, or I saw it scrolling or something, a short.
Somebody shot scrolling or something.
Of the star-nosed mole. This is
freaky
I'd
creatures.
like any of you evolutionists to explain how this evolved or how any animal evolved step by step
I want you to tell me about this particular animal, or just do any animal step by step. Okay, you're going to be here a while. Are you going to actually listen? Because we could go through it. I could go through the entire process, step by step by step. Every single adaptation. Might not be in quite the right order, but I can do it, Kent. But we'll be here a while.
Show me the evidence, not the theory.
No, you are shown the evidence all the time. You just don't care. Show me the. Yeah, we have to pick a stream while they're doing the yard at the apartments, which is funny because it rained, so there's really no reason to do anything now. But contracts are contracts. So if you got that in the background, that's why.
Just the imagination that it happened. Yeah, we don't know for sure. I've never seen God. I think he created the world. I think he wrote a book and told us how he did it. I believe that firmly. I admit.
And you're wrong. And your book's a load of crap, Kent.
I take that on faith. You do not admit. You take yours on faith, because you'll lose your tax funding for your religion to be taught in all the schools, won't you? Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, always a conspiracy, and you always just run through the same routine of shit. I want you to show me how it told me step by step how any of this self-evolution. See, I do it by faith. You won't admit yours is a faith, so I use abusive and bully language. And that's why you won't call for a debate. You'll lose your tax funding.
For a debate. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm trying to help you. Trying to save you from hell, number one.
I'm not trying to hurt anybody. Yeah, neither was David Koresh. Neither was Jim Jones. Come on, Kent.
One, trying to save you from believing something stupid, looking real stupid when you stand before God.
Oh, another one. I don't want to hurt anybody. What was that name? Oh, fuck. Hang on. And I swear, if anyone knows this before I say it, y'all are gonna be it's gonna be incredibly impressive. I don't want to hurt anybody. Bill Conrad, that piece of shit who killed himself during a To Catch a Predator sting that got the show fucking canceled. Huh? Okay, yeah. Once we start getting into bigwig, political heavyweights in an area being sick, twisted fucks, them doing something. Oh, he killed himself. Oh, MSNBC is making news. It's like they're still just reporting. It's investigative journalism. Ethics, there was stuff getting a little out of hand, but the fact remains the fucker was a sick-ass piece of shit who took himself out. And for some reason, us proceeding to instigate that process, I say us as in, the people who are actually fucking civilized, MSNBC, is suddenly a problem. I love that shit.
God's going to say, excuse me, did you believe you're related to a strawberry? Yeah. Did you ever eat them? Yeah. That's cannibalism. How don't they get it? Okay, this is really cool about this stuff.
Yeah, it was that frog that has the like the babies come out of its back, that freaky ass thing, abomination unto mankind. I refuse to study into that. I don't have that trypophobia kind of stuff to any major degree that it's like it super freaks me out, but just they do legit freak me out in their own right. And yeah, of course, Kent would just deflect AJ's sexuality, because of course he would. The man who wants to whine about ad-homs all the time loves to go directly to an ad-hom.
Star-nosed mole. I'd like you to tell me how this evolved, step by step. What did it evolve from?
A primitive form of mole. And that from a creature that was very mole-like but would not be defined as a mole. We've been over this. It's always the same answer, Kent.
And it might be the most insane predator you've never heard of. Meet the star-nosed mole. That star isn't for smelling. It's a touch organ packed with 100,000 nerve fibers.
Kent, do you need to move the mouse cursor all the time, huh? Is it cool when you do this? Look at me, I'm Kent Hovind. Let me move my weird green mouse pointer everywhere. Why the fuck is it green, Kent?
Making it the
100,000
fucking dumbass.
Nerve fibers in its nose. Each of those nerve fibers goes to a part of the brain that's going to decipher what it's looking at. Could you please tell me how
what it's looking at? You mean what it's feeling against, Kent?
That evolved. Did I lose it here? Scroll up. You just scroll down a little bit. Okay, scroll up here.
Most sensitive touch organ of any mammal on Earth. It uses it to hunt, and it's so fast it identifies and eats prey in 0.2 seconds.
It identifies what it's going to eat in 0.25 seconds. So these nerves.
I love that when, these nature programs, these little pop sci things have this stuff and say it. If he can use it, he's all for it. But the moment they say something that dares conflict with his stupid book, he's suddenly like, this is stupid. It's national pornographic. I don't know what this U.S. Geologic Survey is, but they're wrong. That kind of shit. It's always like that. Always. And Kent, you want a really short synopsis from somebody who's just taking an educated guess at this. Given that mammals traditionally have hair, that's a defining feature of mammals, and that many, 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 many mammals have whiskers, sensitive hairs that are connected to very sensitive nerve clusters for particular feeling properties, it only makes sense that a mutation of that trait could lead to something like the monstrosity before you, because they do freak me out. If that sensitivity, any bonus sensitivity, proves useful, that mutation, like is always the case with if X proves useful, it is more likely to be passed on. And then that's the funny thing, is that with the way population mechanics work, those beneficial traits become dominant in the population. And without any real selection pressure against it, sometimes those traits kind of go out there. It's actually kind of like human intelligence. The mutations that cause the smaller jaw and the lesser development of overall cranial bone structure, because we don't have to anchor massive jaws to big ass forehead bones and stuff, left a lot more space for the brain to grow. And it took advantage of it, at least in me and my audience, not so much you and your lineage, since you can't say the word right. So, yeah, that's kind of how this stuff works. A lot of times, something will just kind of get super focused on, and it just works out. It's quite beautiful, really, in its nightmarishness. These peculiarities are what make life kind of, super beautiful outside of just the normal beauty in life. When you get these completely out there outliers, just like, what the hell are you? That's freaky, man. You gotta love it.
And these little fleshy things on its nose are able to determine there's a bug down there. I should get it in 0.2 of a second. How did that evolve?
I just explained, Kent. It's always it's the same answer for every single fucking trait you ask. It proved to be beneficial, or at least not detrimental to a species, and through the nature of population mechanics, selective breeding, population mechanics and natural selection, it became a common trait, if not a dominant defining trait in the way we classify some creatures. It's that fucking simple. Every single trait is that to the nth degree. Every last one of them is that. Full fucking stop, Kent.
It looks to me like his brain is pretty small.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, keep in mind this creature lives underground where sight is pretty much useless, so evolution will favor things like touch and smell. Yep. We even see that in actual fucking humans, who, especially those who are born blind, they don't see in the same way that not owning a TV is its own channel. Oh, the TV's not off, it doesn't exist. They don't actually see. So all the other senses fill in. And oh man, they get that just incredible hearing, that incredible sense of touch. You ever try reading Braille? It's not easy to feel the individual bumps. You'll learn if you have to, though. So we see that even just in humans, where under particular conditions, senses we already have will become hyper refined. So imagine if there's an actual fit, the features we already have become, more, the brain focuses more on those traits to help with understanding of the world around us. So imagine if you have an evolutionary pressure that is pushing towards something like that, and minimal rejective pressure on that trait for it to develop to the way it is with them. It's wild. But in the end, what you basically have, from my understanding, are what amount to fleshy whiskers. It's freaky, but damn if it ain't some nice a nice unique feature that works out well.
I mean, the whole critter is pretty small. I predict his brain's even smaller
Yes, sir.
than the critter. And 100,000 nerves going to the brain, going to decipher all this, make a decision, should I eat it or not?
Scientists literally named it the
Well, Kent, bugs, the fact they have a carapace is going to have a particular texture to it that is quite unique. And especially if it can feel that, hey, this isn't super big and this has the particular texture and it's moving, I should probably go on and give it a quick munchy munch. Ooh, yeah, that's some good bug. Oh, it was a beetle. Hell yeah. Oh, wait, there's more. Nom, 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 nom. Congratulations. You've evolved into fat mole. What was I talking about? Right. You don't even think about what is happening with this, and that these hypersensitive feelers are going to be able to discern basic properties that are indicative. Dirt does not feel like a bug carapace. Rocks do not feel like a bug carapace. Roots do not feel like a bug's carapace. Okay? And they don't behave like it either under pressure. This isn't that hard to figure out, Kent.
world's fastest eating mammal. Found across eastern North America, it's been spotted foraging under ice. And to smell underwater, it blows bubbles out of its nose, then sniffs them back in. Its eyes are basically useless. It eats up to 50% of its body weight in a single.
Wait a minute. It blows bubbles out of its nose.
Wait a minute. It always says little transitional statements like that. Why, Kent? Why you gotta talk like that?
Sniffs them back in.
Also, this is your thing where you just constantly repeat what the video says. Why you gotta do that too? The audience heard what the video says. I have to repeat everything.
To see if there's anything edible. Guys, you really believe there's... Why can't you give God the glory? I see amazing things like this, Joseph.
Because your stupid God doesn't exist. Get the fuck over it, Kent.
I say, God, praise God. You're so smart. I can't wait to meet you. He is really, really, really smart. I can't wait to meet you.
I'm going to break my own rules. I'm going to say a no-no word. I apologize because many consider this a slur. But in the case of Kent, it goes, Kent, your God is fucking retarded.
Hey, guy, how about you? Is he going to be your judge when you meet him, or your father? He's going to meet me. Hey, Father. He's going to say, welcome home, son. For you, he's going to say, stand in line over there. You're judged, and judgment's coming. I hate that. I don't want that for anybody. I like what my nephew Chad says at his church up in Ohio. He said, do you want a fair trial, or do you want mercy? I'll take the mercy. I don't want a fair trial. Okay, here we go.
Single day. And in winter, its tail swells up with fat to survive.
So it saves up fat in its tail to be able to survive.
Wow. Yeah, that's not a conscious decision, Kent. That's also a trait common amongst, basically every fucking mammal and a whole lot of progenitor species, I'm sure.
How did that evolve? For millions of generations, they all died because none of them have that. They finally figured out, we got together, had a committee. We've got to get a fat tail. Everybody?
Jesus Christ, that condescending bullshit with this man.
Concentrate, focus, Daniel-san. Make your tail fatter, fatter, fatter.
And there he goes, literally treating it like it's something that actual agency is involved in.
How do they believe that stuff, Joseph? You got to have help to be that dumb. You have to go to college for years to get brainwashed into believing this thing evolved, or any animal evolved. I just thought I'd play this one to show you. It's not possible for it to evolve. It had to be created.
The coal.
Yeah, I just thought I'd play these Hovind videos and comment on them to show just how stupid this man is and perpetually be a thorn in your side. Because I'm doing something of actual value while you're just grifting. I don't think anyone who watches your videos finds them entertaining, Kent. Not in any way like you may think you are. First, me, I'm a goddamn laugh riot.
22 fingers on its face, eats faster than you can blink, swims under ice, and smells through bubbles. What is nature going to come up with next? This is a real animal.
Nature going to come up with next. See, they can't give God the glory. That comment.
Because your God doesn't exist, but the natural world does. And every single aspect of life, every last aspect, in no way, shape, or form requires anything other than purely natural processes. Which you can't just claim, oh, boy, where'd those come from? Because they're emergent from reality, the nature of it itself. You don't need your sky daddy to validate anything that we understand about the world, the universe entirely. We've got a lot figured out, especially at the macro level.
Isn't evolution amazing? Is he for real? He believes evolution's amazing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go. God damn, Kent. I mean, Joseph, you and Kent go get a fucking room, all right? Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay. Please explain to me how it evolved then. If you think evolution created that creature from a speck of a dot the size of an atom that exploded 20 billion years ago, and then Earth cooled down and made a hard rocky crust.
Kent, we've been over this. None of cosmology, geology, etc. are biogenesis are evolution. These are all defined. Evolution is properly defined. Not in the way you make up shit, but the actual, scientific community has it defined. And it's an emergent biologic process that happens with extant life. Well, but you gotta have life already started. No, you don't. That's not how any of this stuff works. You don't have to start explaining every single property of quantum physics just to teach kids about how a pendulum works, how a pulley works, anything like that. But you presumably did that in your little educational career, if you can call it that.
About 4 billion years ago. And it rained on the rocks for millions of years, turned them into soup, and the soup came alive. And it was a single-celled creature.
And I've got to hear myself talk about all this stuff. And, oh, look, I got to go grab my slides. Because as soon as I say a trigger word, I suddenly have to autistically go through the entire thing. It's OCD. Seriously, Kent has some level of autism and a major case of obsessive-compulsive disorder.
Am I correctly stating your position? And that single-celled creature, be it an amoeba, bacteria, protozoa.
Well, see, I find all religions, well, not all religions. I find most religions extremely toxic. Especially, though, of course, the Abrahamic ones.
Slowly evolved into everything.
Although, remember, for some strange reason, I'm a bit partial to nuances. That being said, I need to look into it more. And the root origins of it, the same deity and the same stories are still a load of crap. But elements of it in isolation, I kind of like, so.
Let's see, the mole would be up here with the mammals someplace. So the star-nosed mole, they don't have it on this chart, came from a protozoa. Is that the position you wish to defend?
Life came from much simpler creatures than that, Kent. That's how this works. The simplest life, or the first earliest things that would be considered life, are far simpler than you think. Remember, life predates DNA. DNA is an upgrade to life.
Call in. That's not science. You can believe that if you want. You know what they got, Joseph? Right here. This is what they have.
Imagination.
Real mature, guys. Real mature.
I feel crazy. I was arguing with Catholics earlier and thank God I came here. Well, here's the way I look at it. There are lots of other religions in the world, okay? They can't all be right.
Hey, Christianity's a load of crap, but I'll take Catholicism over any other variation since I consider it to be the most direct modern lineage to the original concept that one would describe as proto-Christianity. Don't want to get into the weeds about it because it's all a load of crap, but just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. I'll give Catholicism the vote. And of course, Kent, if you want to discredit Catholics as Christians, then that makes Christianity far lesser of a religion because about half of all Christians are Catholic, or some, I believe.
If they differ on things, somebody's wrong, maybe both wrong, okay? But where's the truth? I just want to know the truth.
No, you don't, because it's explained to you ad infinitum, and you just go, nuh-uh.
America has a bureau called the National Bureau of Standards.
Yeah, that keep bullshit like magical fairy tales out of the education system.
They carefully protect. Here is an inch. Here is a foot. Here is a yard. This is the national.
And actually, Standards doesn't even do that. That's an education system in and of itself for the most part, but still.
It's just.
Wait, here we go. I love it when I press the M key and there's suddenly no one talking on the computer's end. It's just me. Isn't this much better?
Something like that. The Romans invented the mile, how far a soldier can walk. I forget what it was, so many steps or something. So there has to be a standard. Where's the standard for right and wrong? If evolution is true, Darwin said it, the strongest survive.
No, he didn't. That's not a moral principle. That is a perversion of the actual concept that is survival of the most okayest. If you want to say fittest as in fit for the environment, yeah, but being the okayest is good enough. But evolutionary logic has no moral standing one way or the other. It's amoral. That's not any aspect of it. It's not that, hence part of why it's not a religion, you dumbass. We are a social species. We don't know how many times we have to explain this to you. We live in a society. Granted, you don't want to participate in that society. And it was very nice for the 9 years and some change where you were out of participating in society for the most part. You really should consider going back to where you were. Or maybe one of the lesser prisons that, isn't for white collar crimes. Anyway, what was I saying? As I adjust my headset? Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh fuck, I done forgot. Oh man, I legitimately forgot. Morality. Yeah. We're a social species. We live in societies. And so through a multitude of subjective processes that are heavily influenced by us being social, by the nature of us ostracizing others, and reinforced by the concept of mirror neurons, where we can empathize with people when we're not fucking sociopaths like you. We can empathize with others' joys and pains. And so we see in ourselves our brethren, our kindred, and we realize I don't like to feel bad. I shouldn't do things that make me feel bad to other people. And so what we have is an objective moral standard created by the subjective experiences of everyone combined. Hence why virtually everyone will agree that just going up and hitting someone random is bad. I don't think there's anyone out there who genuinely celebrates that. We all find murder horrible because we don't wish to be the victim of such a crime. We don't wish to see the people we care about most victims of such. It's very straightforward, is incredibly well reinforced. And you see it in animals too. My cats will fight each other, sure. They'll play fight. Sometimes they get a little pissy with each other, but they are fully capable of destroying each other. And they don't do it because they're social. They know there's no benefit in that. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the risk. and they groom each other, and they do enjoy playtime. Get two of them sleeping right now by each other. Well, I swear, Cormier thinks that Fat Cat is her mom. Like they're all over each other. So it's like, okay, cool. It's not that hard. We see it in all animals of remotely reasonable intelligence. But you act like no one can know right or wrong because of some magic book that doesn't even contain moral rules worth a damn, except for those that are so fucking obvious even Helen Keller could see them. So, yeah, Kent, you just keep on going that route. You can say that all you want. It has no bearing. Not only is it wrong, but it has no bearing on the validity of the myths and fables in your stupid ass book. Someone please clip this monologue for me because I think it was fucking wonderful.
Weakest die off. So it's okay for the lion to eat the zebra if he can.
They are not the same species, Kent. You cannot apply the concept of morality to hunters and prey as a way to talk about human behaviors to other humans. The most you could do with that is use it as an argument against eating meat, in which case, one, you should be vegan as fuck. Two, the argument doesn't work in that case because they need to eat the meat, which means we would as well that it's not a moral issue because it isn't a moral issue. It fucking sucks, but that is the nature of the beast, quite literally. Cats are obligate carnivores. They have to get particular substances which are only available via meat. Theoretically, they could be synthesized, but who the hell wants to change the diet of every single felid on the planet to go out and feed them expensive synthesized meat supplements? What sense would that make? Because technically it's all chemical, so you can make anything if you have the right processes. But is it worth it? Look at how much energy it takes to make synthetic fuels. You can do it, but unless you got, nuclear power backing you up as a source for all the energy that goes in, excluding the raw chemical compounds to make the fake hydrocarbons, the synthetic hydrocarbons, it's not worth it. You hadn't even gotten to the stupid Earth shit, and I'm already just having a moment here. Whatever, I can vent some rage.
Catch him. Would it be okay for a human to eat another human if he could catch him?
Thank you, Rosina, with $6.66. Here's a $5 for doing the stream and listening to Kent's penis jerky mouth noises. Yeah, and I didn't mention it, but I can hear it. He's got something in his mouth the entire stream. I guess it's from him biting his lip yesterday, supposedly, which, as my lovely chat, well, I'm talking to chat, as y'all have all suggested, he probably had another stroke.
Or is there a different standard for humans? If there's a different standard, why?
Yeah, Kent. Again, the comparison you make is not correct. It would be lions killing other lions, which they do. Do. A male lion taking over a pride will kill the offspring of the ousted lion, so he can't be challenged. I'm not going to apply morals to that because that's just the nature of it. I'm not a lion. We aren't lions. We can't judge them that way. But we can judge one another. And that's where our morality comes from in the end.
Where does our moral standard come from? Where's the standard for right and wrong? Where's the standard for determining what is science and what is not? The typical definition of science is universally accepted. Science is what we can observe, study, test.
Ruckus, no. Hey, welcome. I don't think I've seen you before. I could be mistaken, though. No. Ring cam squirrel left nuts as presents to humans saved from starvation? No. Although that, again, would fit the bill. Rodents are pretty damn smart. Squirrels are rodents. People forget that. And much like birds and such, that's the kind of behaviors they'll do where they can not only identify individuals to one degree or another or in one way or another, but they will leave trinkets. They will appreciate the support, the help, the care shown to them by others. It's fascinating.
And demonstrate. You cannot observe a star-nosed mole coming from anything else. I've never seen them have babies, but I'd be willing to bet $5 they'll come out star-nosed moles.
Yeah, and I'm sure you spent your entirety of last night looking up star-nosed mole reproduction facts. And if you were in Discord recently, you saw another person. It was a person on Facebook, someone in the atheist community, who had shared a thing about dinosaurs mating. And it was a diagram, and I had to share that and be like, "Someone get Kent this book." Or did I share it? I may have actually shared it on my post. I'm not sure. If not, though, it's in Discord, so check it out.
Wouldn't they? I bet their great grandfather was a star-nosed mole too. You imagine that?
Yeah, since the topic's coming up in the chat, to clarify, my stance on human morality is that it is subjectively objective. I've got to remember that it's in that order, in that we all generally agree, and there seems to be a system understood that one can usually expect in others that is created by society. So us as a collective come up with this and generally agree on it. It's kind of the agreed unspoken rules of participating in society, if that makes sense.
It changed in the past. That's not science. Evolution had nothing to do with science. You disagree? Call into the show. Come on. Okay, what have we got, Joseph? We didn't even stir up the flat earthers yet, but go ahead. Are they?
We gotta stir up the flurfs.
Wonder why. Have them show one skeleton mid-transformation, right? Even a skeleton wouldn't count.
Every single creature is quote unquote mid-transformation. I need you to show me two colors on the color wheel, Kent, and tell me which one, or tell me how each one isn't a transition between one color or another. It's all relative.
If you find a skeleton in the dirt, all you really could prove is it died.
And that it was a member of a population, and when you have characteristics that are unique to that population and are not, well, actually, that's the thing. When you find traits that are unique across a whole subset, you realize that's not just, an individual with a disease, an ailment or something. It's not, Neanderthal being old man with rickets going down when you find babies of them and they still have the same features. It's obviously, a separate species.
You couldn't prove that one had any kids. You certainly couldn't prove that one had different kids. No animal today can have different kids in itself.
But it's part of a population.
God said 20 times in the first 7 chapters, they will bring forth after their kind.
And in the book of Chris, it says, "Suck my dick, asshole. What's your point?"
Show me any examples scientifically.
Boy, he's really pissing me off this afternoon, isn't he? I'm going to need my old man medicine.
Testable, demonstrable examples where that did not happen. I challenge it. Roughneck city boy. The truth is, God, our creator, spoke each and every one and everything into existence. I agree. God created the original star-nosed mole just so people would...
Joseph, you really need to stop putting these stupid comments up. I keep telling you this, that where it's just people preaching in the audience, it really doesn't do anything except give cunt a chance to float his ego. Oh, wait, that's why you do it. Sorry, I had a moment there where I forgot who we were talking about. And yeah, you can also prove the skeleton had at least, well, it was it's sexual reproduction. It had a mother, and you can presume it had a father, and they were the same species. Again, populations.
Say, wow, God, you're amazing. You're amazing. A lot of craftsmen. Somebody takes gnarled up wooden oak trees, that are all gnarly, and he saws them up into cool. You got to saw them just right to get the grain to show. He made a really cool chair I saw one time, made out of a burr.
Wow. Guy made a chair. I'm sure that shit's absolutely beautiful. No sarcasm, even though it sounds like it. What does this have to fucking do with the price of rice in China, Kent?
The grain pattern's incredible. There's no question somebody did that.
I've got some guitars with really beautiful grain patterns. All natural, baby. They just bookended that shit, and there you go. Seriously, my Ibanez, the flame effect on the veneer, fucking incredible.
Somebody designed it. Here. Get my series, Creation That Destroys Evolution.
Buy my DVD! Buy my DVD!
and answer the questions. I ask them every time, how did this evolve? Amoeba, apricot, aardvarks.
Yeah, the Asiatic or European lions. Yeah, Rome hunted the European lion to extinction. There were lions in southern Europe over a period of time.
Appendix, amethyst, bacteria, beryllium, butterfly, broccoli. I gave you lots of
Wow, Kent got his first book of medium difficulty words.
targets to shoot at. Pick the easiest one you can find and show me how it evolved. Isn't evolution amazing?
New species of crawfish cloning itself, so each only has one parent. Well, I'll be damned. Well, I did say sexually reproductive creatures, so that one's no longer sexually reproductive. I was about to make a Hovind grade joke, but decided against it.
The guy said, no, evolution is stupid.
I'm the better man. I didn't make the joke that we all know about, or that we know to make there.
You believe that? You need your head examined, and I'm here to help. I can examine it. Kent had his 6th booster. I never had the first one. Not about to take that.
Yeah, hang on, I gotta move. Look at this. UPS Brazil. Kent has his 6th booster. God can't God can't exist on a globe. Kent, either you believe in evolution or da 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 da. You know, if Joseph was smart, he would have things set in Restream to where you can see the whole comment.
God can't exist on a globe. Can't either believe in evolution or... Is that the only 2 choices? That's all you get, Doc. So are elephants green or elephants purple? That's all you get. Choose one.
Depends on what you define green and purple as. You can make it work.
Boosters, you're a shill, you're a Luciferian, just go to the shape of the earth.
I never had...
You're a shill, you're a Luciferian. Eh.
The first one. The earth is round, it spins. It's not...
Except you sure as hell sought medical treatment when that snake bit you. You got the anti-venom, didn't you?
Not a contradiction to the Bible. It goes around the sun, heliocentric, okay?
And all of this conflicts with the Bible, fat man. Even though you're not fat, I just felt like saying it.
This is the center of God's attention. This is the center of God's love. The rest of them are just planets out.
Oh, good. So that means if I go to Mars, he'll leave me the fuck alone, and your ilk will follow? I mean, your God doesn't exist, so he doesn't fucking bother me. But if he fucking did, he would leave me alone? Because that'd be real fucking nice. Get your moron asses away from me. Get me away from y'all, I guess. It's like I was talking in Discord. It's like, you know, there's only a couple of churches in North Korea, and they're in Pyongyang for some reason. Some reason they're allowed. But, yeah, so... And yet another reason, yet another way that North Korea is actually better than the rest of the world. There's a lot of ways that it's not. Don't read too deep into that. But I always crack the joke. I would love to have a winter home in North Korea so I can escape Christmas. The commercialization, the capitalism, the religious bullshit, the whole 9 yards.
There. It's a good thing we got those planets going around because they intercept a lot of meteors that would hit us. It's for our protection.
Yeah, or they could just not exist, dumbass. It's always this cop-out for things being the way they are, but it's like, yeah, but why would things need to be the way they are? It could just as easily not have random shit floating around the cosmos.
So it's perfectly designed. It's fine as is, okay? I use the illustration. If we're driving down the highway and you're in the back seat taking a nap while I drive to Chicago or something, you say, Brother Hovind, would you pass me a Pepsi?
If he's asleep, how is he going to ask you something?
We're going 70 miles an hour north to Chicago.
Kent was stargazing with his telescope looking for Planet Fitness. So far, Davey Mo wins the comment challenge. Yes, there's a comment challenge. If you lose, you die. No.
I grabbed
Then you just lose a life in the game. What game? The game we're all playing.
the Pepsi, hand it back to you at 20 miles an hour. Did the Pepsi go forward or backward? That depends who's telling the...
Yeah, Kent, welcome to relativity. Funny, it's a principle in physics that you completely reject, yet you're literally explaining relativity.
story. For me and Joseph, it's this Pepsi went backwards. For somebody on the sidewalk, the Pepsi went forward. instead of going 70, it only went 50 because I decelerated it. I passed it back at 20.
You didn't pass it back at. How fast is the average human punch? The average human throws a punch at speeds between 6.7 and 15.6 miles per hour. So, Kent, to deliver that Pepsi unto the unsuspecting victim, you had to sucker punch them at championship fighter speeds. Here's your fucking Pepsi. What the fuck, Kent? God, you're fucking stupid. I'm not going to drop the R-bomb again. I already did that once, and I'm trying to limit myself, and I already feel like an asshole for dropping it earlier. You are very mentally inhibited, Hovind.
If all the observers are on the Earth, and they are, then it's perfectly correct to say the sun stood still. It's perfectly correct. And it's perfectly correct to say the Earth doesn't move, except earthquakes and tsunamis and stuff. Well, not tsunamis, it's a water moving. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Is it, Kent, or does the water just stay in position and the Earth just moves into it?
Earthers, go someplace else and try to convert somebody else. You're not going to convert me, okay?
Which is the way Kent thinks the tides work, and it's kind of is, kind of isn't. It's a multitude of things, but yeah.
Retro man. Even Darwin knew his theory of evolution had huge holes, but he was urged to publish. I agree.
No, he didn't. Not holes like you think it is. He understood that there was a lot that needed yet to be discovered to vindicate the idea, but that the initial evidence was sound, the logic was sound, and that it would be iterated upon by future naturalists, i.e., scientists, and it has been.
Long story behind how he published that, and the speed at which it was published. Yeah, a long story behind that. Go to ICR.org. They got the whole story on their website, ICR.
But they're totally not biased. The Institute for Creation Research is totally not a biased organization.
Institute for Creation Research.org. Seth, the best live on the planet. So much information. I do have to ask you guys give so much.
Well, your opinion is completely invalid, Seth, because you don't understand that it's a live stream. It's not a live. I will forever hate TikTok for not only bringing around the stupefaction of discussion of just normal ass topics with regards to life, but also this idiocy of people calling a live stream a live. It is not a live. It is a live stream. You can go live. You can be live streaming. See what I did there? And this video is a live stream, but this isn't a live. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever grammatically. You illiterate fucks.
Knowledge, but who do you enjoy listening to? The Lord.
Myself, Lord Hovind.
I just drove to Walmart and back. I listened to all of Galatians and most of Ephesians while I drove. I love.
Wow, riveting. And I'm sorry, and I know people in my audience, like the ever lovely Laura. That escalator video was funny as hell, by the way. See, Kent, this is what happens when you have actual friends. You can throw inside jokes out, and the rest of the audience will be like, huh? But they'll see, oh, this is a joyous little comment and quip between two people who have developing companionship in the digital space and value each other as companions and contemporaries along the current sphere of life. Anyway, I know people like Laura have lived this, and they fuck it, do it live, yeah. And they I just don't understand people truly living like this, where this is your entire world. It is insane to me. I cannot just be that obsessed with this stuff. Y'all know how much I love like space, rocketry, space history, Chernobyl, freaking Korean history and the like, Japanese culture, all that kind of stuff. And I don't sit there and just live inside of these individual subjects. It may seem like I do, but I don't. They don't make up my entire day. They sometimes can. There have been work days where all I've done is listen to that Chernobyl guy videos. But that's when I get into a hyperfixation phase and then I move on. I don't build my entire life over this one garbage franchise. And that extends into entertainment too, where I really hate people who build their entire identity over some work of fiction. I get it. You really like the Marvel universe, Avengers, Iron Man, and all that shit. But you're not Loki. Loki isn't a real person. I get it. You really like Batman, but my fucking god, Harley Quinn is a garbage character, and her relationship to Joker is an example of absolute psychotic Stockholm syndrome. Sorry, cough came on for a second. There's got to be other shit you care about. Note my own personal branding has a bit of a thematic nature going on, but is otherwise abstract. Even in the case of my buddy Prince Watercress using a blue version of Knuckles the Echidna as an avatar, he's not Prince Knuckles, he's Prince Watercress. He's his own entity online, and so he's built his online identity. Just come on. I don't know, shit just pisses me off. What the hell were we talking about again? Oh, right, Hovind.
God's word is so full of gems and stuff. You get every time I read it, it's like, wow, how did I miss that last time? You know, I encourage you to port. So
Right, because you're stupid, Kent. Realistically, the Bible only needs to be read once.
soak your brain in the Bible.
You know nothing about what you say concerning the earth.
I know nothing about what I say concerning the earth.
No, not random commenter. You had that better at the beginning. You know nothing.
You believe it's flat? Your brainwave is flat.
God, I love how he's getting really fucking triggered by these flat earthers. Keep it going, flat earth. We may not agree, but man, the more you talk shit, more you get Hovind to talk shit about you, the more pleased I am with you. In my book, that phrase make no sense. Hang on, I just had a complete brain fart. It brings me great joy to see you harassing Kent Hovind the way you are. And that makes up for the fact that you're incredibly wrong and incredibly stupid about the nature of the cosmos. That being said, I do find your opinions biblically accurate, but that's irrelevant if the Bible is fundamentally wrong in all ways.
John get off of Patmos.
We don't know that he did. He might have written the record and then he discovered it later, Robinson Crusoe or something. You know, we don't know that he got off of Patmos.
What?
Earth is hollow.
The earth is hollow now. Whoa.
See, Hollow Earth is kind of a cool idea. It doesn't work, obviously, but that one's kind of fun.
If the sun and the moon stood still, why would that make sense on a spinning planet? I think
We-
we,
we-
just answered about perspective.
We are the observers. To people looking up, the sun stood still. Standing on the side, you'd say the Coke went backwards or went forward 50 miles an hour.
Oh, so now it's a Coke? Now this is a small can of Coca-Cola. It previously was Pepsi-Cola.
Pepsi. Joseph's going to say,
Oh, he fixed it.
no, it went backwards. I was in the back seat. Okay.
West Texas is flat.
Again, Kent, that's relativity.
West Texas is flat. You can drive for 3 days. Are we still in Texas?
Well, I mean, West Texas became flat after that little explosion.
You guys got to cut that state in half. This Texan was bragging about how big his state was. This guy from Alaska said, look, knock it off, or we're going to cut our state in half and make you the third largest.
And Rosina, thank you again for the super chat, $4.99. Wait, so Kent listens to a Bible audiobook but doesn't know how to pronounce many of the names in said Bible? Does he not pay attention? Bad preacher. Wow, yeah, that is a very good point. Listens to Bible audiobooks but doesn't know how to pronounce these things. What the fuck?
I guess that was the point of the question. How did the book of Revelation get out? John stuff on that.
Don't know. No, I don't know anybody who knows. God promised he would preserve his word. That's God's problem. John could have written it on clay tablets, baked, let them bake in the sun. That record's going to last for centuries, millennia. They're still finding clay tablets all over the world from ancient writings, That's a
Yeah, a lot of those ancient writings predate your Bible.
common way to write when you want to make sure the record doesn't get, paper doesn't last long. But
It's also a good way to write when you don't have the resources necessary to mass produce paper, but you do have plenty of material to either clay directly or to produce a clay-like material that can be etched into. That kind of trade is common in desert climates as opposed to more temperate, all the way up to jungly climates.
clay tablets would last. Book of Revelation, 22 chapters, probably, 300 or 400, I don't know, whatever size clay tablets use. Write it out, bake it in the sun, put a sign up, help, I'm stranded on Patmos. Actually, it was exiled to Patmos, so I'm sure they had ships going back and forth, bringing new prisoners and taking guys off. And
What about getting guys off? Yeah, you really enjoyed that part, didn't you, Ken?
don't know. We'll find out in heaven. I believe God preserved his word. That's God's problem.
And I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. Wait, sorry, where were we again?
If you believe it's not, okay, then we both have a belief, don't we?
I think historically that happened around 80 or 90, so that is another evidence against preterism.
Yeah.
Is it possible for a universe to exist if no conscious mind is there to observe the universe? True, false, or false?
That's those guys who sit around with their thumb against their finger, and contemplate their belly button for hours at a time. Ask one of them that question. It doesn't matter to me.
If the earth is flat, how can we have molten lava hundreds of thousands of miles beneath Earth's
I love that we couldn't really hear that previous question. I'm being mostly quiet so we can get just the full sampling of Hovind bullshittery.
crust? If it's flat, we would all rot to death.
This, just like this idea that we're all related, this dumb idea kind of took the world by storm 200 years ago when Darwin, 150 years ago, Darwin. This all takes place in the imagination, all of it. That's what's happened with this flat Earth stuff.
And your Bible doesn't, Ken. The thing is, your flat Earth is biblical, whether you like it or not.
Just imagine it's flat. You could show them a picture from space. Oh, that's fake. It's NASA. I think 17 different countries around the world have a space agency. Are they all? Is there a big conspiracy?
They've all signed.
Yes, Kent. Just like everything on your end is a big conspiracy. Yeah, all the space agencies are in on it together. You are such a fucking amateur with this, and I absolutely fucking love. And I knew it'd go this way, that the very baby logic counterpoints he's using on flat Earth, I've never actually looked at a Simon Dan flat Earth video to see that the entire discussion is way beyond those obvious points. The kinds of arguments he's using are the exact same ones that demonstrate his bullshit being wrong. You love to fucking see it.
Treaties to not go to Antarctica is one big conspiracy that we're not in on our government.
Many people have been to Antarctica, to the South Pole. The reason they don't want you going in there without a permit.
Not that many people have been to the South Pole, Kent. A lot of people have been to research stations like the Ross Ice Shelf and the like.
Is because people, take 2 ham sandwiches and go in there and got a radio back. Hey, come rescue me. And it costs $4 million to come get you because you're too dumb to prepare for the ice down there. I went to Barrow, Alaska.
Kent, you can't just go to South South Australia. God, what the hell, Antarctica, right? It's a whole process, and people are there. It's also, kind of bit of a nature preserve in its own way, and it's very convoluted. It isn't just it costs $4 million to get you. Funny, that's the same thing you say about the Congo swamp with Mokele and Mbembe, that for some reason we have no satellite evidence of, even though we should be able to see the fucker.
Which is as far north as you can get in Alaska. By the way, I went to McDonald's this morning to get the egg bacon, egg cheese sandwich. I asked the lady, Do you take out-of-state cash from Alaska? No, no. They don't have IQ tests to work.
Yes, ask somebody a question that is completely nonsensical, and due to the nature of you've obviously never worked in service, because my God forbid you ever have to assist anybody and humble yourself. You don't understand that you develop a lot of mental routines. So if someone even remotely hints at having cash that is atypical, they're going to default to no, presuming the story is even true, because they're not going to parse what you actually say. The fact that you're asking means that it's probably not American tender, even though it was a trick statement. And all you did, if this is even true, was get an incorrect answer because you primed for an incorrect automatic response from people who have to already spend enough brain power trying to handle the active portion of the complete bullshit that goes with such a job. You do not understand the nature of the actual worker and the kinds of subroutines, if we can use a computer analogy without you saying that they're designed, that these routes, these routines that naturally form in the brain.
There. Okay. I was in Barrow, Alaska, and when I flew in, it was high altitude planes, you know. You can see the curvature of the Earth.
High altitude planes, you know? Really? Like what, Kent? Like what? Tell me. What year was this? What aircraft did y'all take? I really need to know. MD-8? 707? 737? Right, it's 737. Could be a 747, more recent. It's highly unlikely a 747 unless it was a stopover and it was headed to Japan or something. Could be a 757 or 767. You know, if this is more recent.
One guy said that's because the window on the airplane is curved. Okay, look, believe
Fish Islands, Fish Islands.
what you want, but it's not science. Okay, it's imagination. This chart of being related to a strawberry is imagination. So is flat Earth. The majority of people that believe in a global.
Yeah, we should note the puffy left cheek. I mean, look at that shit. Looks like he's got the fucking mumps. What the hell is that? Jesus fucking Christ, Kent. You got the whole whale penis in there, don't you?
Flood also believe in a global Earth. What?
Makes sense, right? How can you have a global flood on a flat Earth?
How can you have a global flood on a flat Earth? I guess I got held in at the edge. See, gravity.
Yeah, actually, that would totally work. It's the idea that it's a giant fucking bowl, in effect, with the firmament on top. Because that's how the Bible actually describes the cosmos, whether you like it or not, Kent.
Everything's attracted to the center of the ball because that's the attraction of masses. So people here are standing up perpendicular to the Earth. People here are standing up perpendicular to the Earth, but they're not parallel with each other. This was done with the experiment in Egypt back, 300 BC. The guy noticed when the sun went over on a certain day, he could see the very bottom of the well. And they knew the well was perpendicular, you know, level, plumb. So he got a friend of his, some 300 miles away or something, put a stick in the ground, straight up and down, and tell me how long the shadow is.
Well, the thing is, you got to get really up there at routes that aren't common for most conventional civilian air traffic. So it's unlikely for a flight to take that particular route that particular altitude in most cases.
On this day. And so they did that, and
I mean, if you get the right set of conditions, you can notice it, but it's a bit rough. You know, sometimes you don't quite see the curve as well. Again, depending on the exact altitude.
he calculated how big the Earth was based on the shadow, which is simple trigonometry. Yes, the Earth's a ball, and
Same thing with the lunar eclipse, 2,000 years before NASA. This is not a NASA propaganda. We've known this for a long time.
right. But see, once people get this in their mind, it becomes true. Wow, I saw it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff defines as at 35,000 feet, you can faintly tell the curvature of the Earth, but you'd need a good wide field of view. So, like, you'd have to really be at a good seat with the wing not obscuring much and, like, press right up against the window.
They think they saw evolution. Once people get this in their mind,
But, 40,000, 50,000, it starts being more doable. And then when you start hitting 60 and 70,000, flying, the U-2 Dragon Lady or A-12/SR-71 when they flew, yeah, you could see it pretty clearly.
wow, the layers are different ages. Can you imagine going back to the Jurassic
Yeah, he says he bit. Nah, he something happened. Maybe he got bit by something.
age? You don't go back at all. I took the helicopter down to the bottom of
Oh god, here's the Grand fucking Canyon story again. Everyone's tired of your stories, Kent.
Grand Canyon. The guide said, folks, we went back 300 million years. I looked at my watch, it was the same day. We didn't go back at all. This is all imagination. And so is the flat earth. Pure, it's imagination. You can believe that if you want, and no way to convince them. You can't convince most people, once they've been taught this for 20 years, they're going to believe it.
It's the same with religious bullshit. That's why you love to get them young.
Brainwashing system.
Famous quote by somebody: "It's easier to fool somebody than it is to make them believe they've been fooled."
Right.
That's crazy. Here's somebody disappointed doctor.
And yet that equally applies to your stupid religion and all religions of your kind. Joseph, you don't seem to understand this.
I really thought you were a man of scripture and science, but it seems it's just words of a man.
I believe I'm a man of scripture and science. I love science, taught it 15 years.
Whenever I finally am able to facilitate being the host of some debate between Hovind and someone else, I am going to pull the Jovan / the line thing of asking pronouns at the beginning. I'm going to watch Kent flip out. It'll be great.
I love the scriptures, read it for 57 years. Can you be more specific? What are you saying? What's he trying to say?
He's trying to say that you are a liar because you don't believe in the flat earth. Everything else you say is wrong because of the flat earth.
I see. Everything else I say is wrong. Let's see. This is blue. Is that wrong?
Words from NASA. You're
Is it define blue, Kent?
quoting NASA. That's why you're wrong. Even though we just said all these evidences come before NASA.
They've known the earth is round way before there was a NASA, way before there was an America,
Way before there was a Bible.
way before there was a telescope. It'd be funny if it wasn't so serious.
Yeah, no.
These people drive on the highway, Joseph.
They don't think you should be allowed to.
All right, I should. When you get to heaven, with whom do you want to have a conversion with? And first, I want to talk to the Lord for quite a while. Okay, I've been talking to him, through prayer for 57 years. I want to sit down on his lap and say, Lord, thank you for letting me be. Thank you for letting me come.
Well, I paused at the perfect fucking time. There's another thumbnail for future use. Holy shit. When is that in Ken's video? 2049? Holy shit. Y'all heard that, right? Y'all fucking heard that.
I don't just.
They're going back to the past to watch the shitty Hovind that sucks ass. Come on, play. Damn it, I hate when it gets stuck like this.
Sit down on his lap and say, Lord, thank you for letting me be. Thank you for letting me come.
There you go. God damn, you're a sick man, Kent.
I know I don't deserve this. And I want to talk to Moses. He's one of my. I want to ask him a simple question. Moses, when you guys were crossing the Red Sea and you were walking on dry ground, and the Bible says there was a wall of water beside you on each side, a wall. And they've done studies on that. It would have to be 900 foot, 90-story building, okay? I want to ask Moses, did any fish ever fall out? Does that bother you? Doesn't bother you, does it? It bothers me. Can you imagine a fish swimming along, falls out of the water? Somebody picks him up, puts him back.
Well, Kent, presuming there was some sort of magical divine power that was pushing the water and stabilizing it in such a way, acting as an artificial wall, I imagine the fish would not be going through that, especially given that a large portion of the body mass of most any animal actually is water. I think the repelling force that was holding back the Red Sea would equally push against the water mass inside of the living organism. There you go, Kent. I just used actual fucking science. Well, not even science, actual fucking logic for your stupid ass hypothesis. My fucking God, are you an idiot?
He goes home, tells Mama, Mama, you won't believe what happened at school today. I fell out of the water. Okay, show me the evidence.
Why did God forbid the Israelites from eating swine? And do we need to follow that same rule today?
Those rules are for the Jews. They were
Those rules are still valid for quote unquote us. Because Christianity is just Judaism 2.0 electric boogaloo.
peculiar people. There are a lot of diseases carried in swine, but God said that for the Jews, he set certain rules. They were to be a different kind of peculiar people. And so I'm glad he didn't tell the Norwegians, man, I like bacon. Whew.
Jesus Christ, I'm bringing up his Norwegian. That's not even an ethnicity, Kent. That's a nationality. There's a broader ethnic subtype that makes up these areas, yes, but Norwegian isn't an individual ethnicity. What the fuck, man?
Joseph,
Not like that, anyway. Not like in the same way that, the Jewish genetic lineage is.
the Earth is divided up into 24 15-degree strips. As you go closer to the pole, those strips get closer and closer. The time zones are narrower in Canada than they are in America. They try to follow the 15-degree line, but you got to allow for cities and states and common sense deviations from that.
And the nature of railroads, since that's why time zones were really devised.
Why would the time zones be different width? For the sun to go 12 hours, as we turn under the sun, it takes roughly 12 hours, let's say on equinox. Okay? And you can
No, it always takes 12 hours to turn from one side to the other. It's just, the daylight. The day is not the rotation. What the fuck, Kent? And yeah, happy day after Memorial Day. If you don't get the joke, it's that Kent said yesterday was Memorial Day. Notice he didn't bring that up today. Didn't bring that up in this stream because this was today's stream. He's that fucking stupid. And no one bothered to correct him. It was something I should have brought up. Is that no one corrected this man that Kent, Sunday isn't Memorial Day. Monday is.
divide that distance from first time you see it over here, then you see it set over here. You can do that up in Canada or in northern Russia, and it's still 12 hours, but the time zones are a lot narrower. We're going to put together, did Simon Dan ever call back? Everybody, call Simon Dan in England and say, Ken Hovind would like to do a show with you.
Oh, sorry. See, that's the problem. I was calling Simon Dan in the United States. I didn't know there was a different Simon Dan.
Where you two together debunk the flat earth. He's good at it. Now, he's wrong about evolution, but he's really good at debunking flat earth.
Did this motherfucker just say do a YouTube? Did he just boomer out again? Come on, Chrome. You can do it. You can play the video. It's not that hard. Come on, little Core i3 processor from forever a fuck ago. You can do it.
Would like to do a show with you where you two together debunk the flat earth. He's good at it. Now, he's wrong.
Oh, okay. Do a show where you two together. Never mind.
Wrong about evolution, but he's really good at debunking flat earth.
Isn't it true those lines
Which again should tell you so very much, Kent.
didn't swallow like that? That's why farmland is offset.
Right.
It doesn't run in perfect square grids.
You can see up in Illinois where I'm from, flatland forever. All of a sudden they jog over a few feet to stay near the longitude lines, north-south. Yeah, you have to because the Earth is round.
No, Kent, it's a straight line because it's going to follow the longitude because that's how those things work. It adjusts because of the way they are assigned. It isn't a zigzaggy pattern. If they wanted it to go straight, it would just go straight. It doesn't need to zigzag to stay straight with longitude. What the fuck, man? Do you not understand what parallel lines that happen to converge because they're on a round object are?
Hey, Kent, I was raised in a Baptist church, but also went to public school. What a good challenge question to ask an evolutionist is why they believe we come from monkeys.
I'm sure Kent Hovind is still offended by the introduction of area codes.
Observe.
I don't want to direct dial my own call. Give me an operator, god damn it!
We've never observed any animal produce anything other than their same kind. Monkeys have baby monkeys every time.
In the morning, probably not that many, but in the evening, probably the whole goddamn group of them. It could be the whole group now, too, but in that case, holy fucking shit. I mean, really, all this is the goddamn pavilion at Jonestown.
I do. The guys who teach it already happened. That's called the preterist view. I think it's baloney. My chart behind me and the smaller version of the same thing here.
Oh, God, his stupid fucking chart.
Milli means thousand. There's a 1,000-year reign after the tribulation. That 1,000-year period is called the day of the Lord. Now, there's a case where one day is like 1,000 years.
And any day we watch a Hovind stream is the day of the board.
I think God's working on a 7,000-year calendar. Creation 6,000 years ago, and an extra 1,000 years coming soon to a city near you. So I believe the whole thing's going to go for 7,000 years. We'll see. But
that was a goddamn joke I'd make. I'd deliver it better, though.
Yeah, certainly the Bible teaches about a millennium. The day of the Lord is mentioned. Gee whiz, I got all the references here. 50 times, probably. Sometimes it calls it a day of great wrath. Other times it calls it a day of great blessing. The lion and the lamb lay down together, all that stuff. It's all on the chart right here, or in my book on the topic, What on Earth is About to Happen, for heaven's sake, that I wrote on the future. I had to change my theology. And some of you flat earthers need to change your geometry. What's the craziest argument you had for evolution? I guess majority opinion. Everybody believes it, therefore it must be true. I got a short I was going to play with Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, all the scientists know evolution is true. I'll debate Neil deGrasse Tyson any day of the week. Call him. Hovind, challenge I'll pay him $100 to debate me.
Oh, yeah, the Hovindite term is very, very calculated on my end. I don't know if I was the one to coin it or not. Did others say it before me? I don't know anymore.
You can see the satellites. Go up on our sand dune by our cross up there. It's total dark out in Lenox. They just got electricity 2 weeks ago out here, and nobody's hooked up yet. So you can see the stars great off. You can watch the satellites. We got 5 or 6 telescopes. Come on out. Visit Dinosaur Adventureland. We'll show you one.
Yeah, you can see satellites streaming across. I've seen the ISS streak across the sky. That was fucking awesome. And Artemis 2, the photo sets they were taken when they were, when the Earth was, they were on the shaded side as they were headed to the moon. Yeah, they actually caught satellites. You could catch the glimmer of a bunch of them doing their little crisscross. It's quite beautiful.
Then what are you going to say?
Like this question. The sun doesn't really set on the North Pole. Is that not right? But I think it's in the winter in the South Pole.
Well, because the Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees, in the summer, right, the sun never sets because it's facing tilted toward the sun. In the winter, in the summer, the South Pole never gets the sunlight. There's a ring, that's why you got these
Hey, Kent, it's 23.44 degrees, you jackass.
lines 23.5 degrees away, the Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle. That's where
Starlink trains may look awesome, but Starlink can fuck off. That and all the other constellations need to burn. And thankfully, as they fall out of orbit, they will only be replaced by even more stupid satellites. What the hell happened to engineering high bandwidth geosynchronous satellites instead of this stupid constellation idea? Just polluting things. It's horrible. We're like every day we're a couple of incidents away from Kessler syndrome.
If you get beyond it, when you get down below the equator, you can't see the North Star. Why is that? They have to use a different way to navigate the Southern Cross. Up north of the equator, you see the poles of the Earth, if you drew a straight line, would go straight almost perfectly to the North Star. Why is that?
By sheer coincidence, though, Kent, another star, ironically, Tubian, I think was its name, used to be the North Star, like for the Egyptians.
The Earth is round, and
I
it's
mean, it was for everybody, but they're the ones who recorded that, and it's shown by evidence with the precession of the Earth, axial precession, and just the nature of things.
spins.
Another question from me while you got your globe up. It's asking about the true geographical North Pole magnetic.
Right, the magnetic North Pole, because the center of the Earth appears to be really, really hot molten iron and nickel, it creates a magnetic field.
Laura, Kessler syndrome is a phenomena where space debris impacting with anything up there under the right conditions creates a domino effect of more debris hitting more stuff, resulting in the near space around Earth just being just polluted with all kinds of random shit. So to a point where you can't safely launch anything. It is a very real hypothetical. Like it is a situation that most definitely can happen. And we've actually been very close to in particular events and have had to move satellites out of the way of debris that could have caused enough damage to create such. Yeah.
That magnetic field is, you can't see it, it's invisible, but the compasses point magnetic north. When I was
The compasses align to the magnetic field, and we have determined that this orientation is magnetic north, and thus we mark on a compass on the on the magnetized part of the compass, the needle, an area that we're going to define as north. It's really kind of arbitrary. It basically depends on, hey, where the fuck do where's this thing pointing? Okay, that end of it's pointing this way. All right, there you go. That's the way it's magnetized. We're just going to call it that.
I became an Eagle Scout, and we do the navigation. We had my dad was engineer, World War II, and taught us.
Your dad wasn't shit. He's the only one of the only veterans who I'm not thinking of this Memorial Day.
Boys, all kinds of trig and stuff like that early.
Not that I'm thinking of too many, but a lot of them are also happen to be space heroes of mine. Granted, it was the Korean War, so I'm a bit conflicted on that, but they all tended to be Air Force. So
You're in Illinois. There's called the angle of declines. Okay, just Google angle of declination. If you're in Illinois, where I grew up, the North Pole is this way. The magnetic North Pole was, I think, 12 degrees off or something. So you look at your compass is pointing magnetic north. I go true north, I got to go 12 degrees off the compass. Now, if you happen to be over here in California, it might line up the two of them.
declination comes from the noun declinatio, meaning a bending away or a turning aside. Stems from the verb declinare, which combines the prefix de, from down, and clinare, to bend or lean. Okay, I'll give you that one, Kent, although that really isn't the word as its compounding form is to be considered, is to be thought of.
Might be in a straight line, so you don't worry about it. The angle of declination varies greatly with where you're standing, and the magnetic North Pole is drifting around a little bit, moving around. Can you put up a map, the migration of the magnetic North Pole? It might be under the real North Pole now. It doesn't matter. It's just the magnetic lines of flux coming out. Nothing coming out. It's like a radio wave. You can't see it.
They're coming out. They're not coming out. What? Sorry, Kent. You can't handle the openly homosexual magnetic fields? I, for one, welcome our gay magnetic overlords.
magnetic North Pole. Yeah, there you go. It's moving around Canada.
Well, the thing is, Kent's dad died in 1993, so records access is going to be on a very much a need to know basis, for lack of a better term. It's not going to be a matter too much of public record.
Earth is getting close to the real North Pole. Okay, so look at 1960. Where was it? Okay.
Where it was when I first saw a dead body.
I was 7 years old. So
Yeah, perfect age. First time see a dead body. Of course, he got to make it about himself. I was 7 years old.
we had to. I'm guessing it was 12 degrees. It's been a long time. It became Eagle Scout, but the compass would point true. The compass would always point magnetic north. It's a magnet. It's all it can do. A magnetic compass, anyway. And so
it doesn't point in any direction. It aligns to the fields of magnetic flux. That's why if you stick an actual magnet, an artificial or a natural magnet near it, anything else that's magnetized, it's going to definitely have a stronger field. Excuse me, and the magnet's going to orient its the piece of magnetic metal that makes up the needle will orient itself to those field lines because that's how magnets work.
Yeah, the magnetic North Pole, it can go wherever it wants. I don't care. The real North Pole, the whole Earth as it spins is also wobbling just a little bit. So I don't know if the real geographic North Pole has ever moved. Go that. Has the geographic North Pole moved? Yes, it has, but I don't know if it's done in recorded history. I guess I'm what I'm looking for.
Really kind of hasn't, because at that point your positions of continents and stuff and locations of things kind of are relative based on the rotation of the earth. So no, that really kind of doesn't make sense to ask because that's your reference frame.
You're good over there, Joseph. This is great.
Yeah, seriously. Kent's all ICP up in this bitch. Magnets! How do they work?
Has the geographic North Pole ever moved?
God, this is taking forever. The stream sucks.
Huh. It's a spinning ball. And the idea of the shaft, if you had an imaginary shaft through the ball, like spinning a ball.
Hovind talking about shaft.
It could wobble some.
Change a little bit. What do the feet of clay and iron on that statue mean vividly?
It looks to me like when Nebuchadnezzar saw this vision of this huge statue right here, and it scared him half to death. He woke up in the morning and could not remember what he dreamed. It's all in Daniel chapter 2. And he called all his wise men in and said, I want you to tell me, what does my dream mean? They said, oh, yes, king, tell us what it was. He said, I forgot the dream. I want you to tell me what I dreamed and what it means.
Oh, so they're some kind of clairvoyant. Also, in this case, what's the threat you're making?
To kill you.
Okay, so they had to just make up something to not get killed. Beautiful.
They thought that was kind of unfair, you know. So he was getting ready to kill them all. And Daniel, who was a slave, taken over captive, probably 17, 18 years old, God gave him the vision of what the king had dreamed. And then he said, King, I can tell you what you dreamed and what it means. There's going to be 5 world empires. You're the first one, the Babylonian Empire, the head of gold. After you is going to come a second one, inferior, the Persian Empire, silver, and had an eastern and western branch. This is Persian Empire, the 2 arms of the Persian. Then there was the belly and thighs of brass.
Wow, does the Bible actually mention this explicitly from, in text that was written before these nations existed? Because that would be really special. Or is that y'all retconning things?
Alexander the Great, the Greek Empire. Then the Roman Empire, the iron legions of Rome. The legs were iron, and it had an eastern and western also empire. Then it says they're going to be, at the end of time, there'll be 10 kings, the 10 toes, who try to merge together to make a world empire. It's going to be the weakest one because iron and clay won't mix. So I think the 10 toes represent 10 countries that are going
iron and clay won't mix. Okay, Kent. And underwater, the fish don't stink. And if anyone out there gets the reference to that, gets that reference, you are something else.
or 10, maybe 10 kingdoms, if you can call it, who are going to try to get together and make another world empire. And that one, at the time of that empire, during the time of the feet and clay coming together, a stone cut out of the mountain without hands is going to come down and smite the image on the feet. It's all in Daniel chapter 2. And then this is all going to crumble. And that stone is going to grow to become the real final kingdom of the world, God's kingdom. So I think I cover that in my book in great detail on what on earth is about to happen. Or I
Wow,
give
that's
you a video
fucking stupid.
series if you prefer. Well, what on earth?
Or
is
you can
about
just
to
wait until I
happen.
tell this story again in another 3 streams.
21 hours with all kinds of charts and visuals. I just want to make it simple. People can understand. You may not believe it, but you at least understand. Like my position on the earth. You still may not believe it, but you understand what I believe. It's round. It's about 8,000 miles in diameter. It spins toward the east. And the magnetic North Pole is moving a little bit.
Is no arbitrary southeast or west, Kent.
Real North Pole will be wobbling. In the summer, we're tilted away from the sun. And so the sun is 23.5 degrees below the equator, straight above Australia. Straight above. But it never gets any further. If you go further south, the sun's never directly overhead. How do you get the sun directly overhead? Well, it depends what time of year it is, okay? The sunrise, sunset, it all fits perfectly with a spinning globe Earth. Nothing fits with the flat Earth. One person told me, I said, how far away is the sun? Oh, it's inside this dome. Oh. And how come we get dark? How can it ever get dark? Well, it's just so far away. Well, how big's that dome? If it's a flat Earth and they got sunlight over there, everybody should have sunlight. Duh.
At least we should be able to see there.
Yeah, didn't Hovind hear that song? Pig and elephant DNA just won't splice. Yeah, I'm sorry, I won't sing anymore.
They will see it. They held a flashlight close to the ground and said, well, it's so close to the ground. It's so close, it's only lighting up that spot. That's why we can't see it. Well, if you hold the flashlight to the ground, I can see the light going through the air molecules. Can't you see the shaft of light? I should see something, shouldn't I? How do you get total darkness? This is really a new phenomena. Google, when did the flat Earth become popular again? I mean, it was settled 400 years ago, but it's become popular again. I think the devil did that just so he could laugh at Christians, at people who believe. He can talk people into believing they came from a rock. This was not a thing. 1840s, flat Earth movement, resurgence in the mid-2010s. That's what I thought. It's just pretty.
Yeah, just come back in the mid-2010s.
Because it wasn't, when I was, growing up in science class, nobody ever talked about that.
Well, nowadays it's just new information.
Oh, okay. Now, I believe NASA would lie. I believe our government would lie. No question. It doesn't mean they're lying about this.
Right. Do you believe in the spiritual gifts, like dream interpretation, speaking in tongues?
I've covered that many times on my video number 7. I think the gifts of God, like that, as far as speaking in tongues especially, and healing, I believe they ceased when the Bible was completed. When that which is perfect is come, that which is in part shall be done away. And those things are in part. The gift in the speaking in tongues in Acts chapter 2, they were given the miraculous ability to speak a language they had never studied. It was an earthly language. It names all 17 of them. It was not heavenly jibber jabber, partial syllables running around, dancing around on the ground. So I've covered that. The gift of tongues, I think it's ego-driven. I think they want to feel more spiritual. They want somebody who's read their Bible for 50 years and studied and worked and tried to serve the Lord. They want to walk to the altar and pray and jibber jabber and say, I'm more spiritual than you because I spoke in tongues and you didn't. Jesus said, ye shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses. How do you know you're full of the Holy Ghost? You witness to people. You get people saved. One guy asked me one time, said, I got filled with the Holy Spirit. I said, great. Who'd you win to the Lord? What? Nobody. I spoke in tongues. Well, you didn't get what I got. I got a desire to tell the gospel to everybody.
Thank God for that. Somebody said that dome was built in Texas where everything is bigger. You asked how big the dome was, and they said it was built in Texas.
Oh,
Everything's bigger. Here's an interesting question. Do you think the
Whew, you have to go through the flood.
I'm sorry, I was working on random VPS shit on the other end. Did Kent say anything of importance?
I never thought of it. My first reaction would be, I doubt it. You know,
Yeah, it was one of Loverboy's greatest hits. Got filled with the Holy Spirit. Kinky. I remember when empires of Medes, Persian, Greeks, etc. were assigned to these nations. Probably well after the fact. Yeah, that's creaky to do a video. Yep.
4,000 years, a long time for a tree. Trees can go through the flood. That's not a problem. But see, Noah was in the ark for a year.
Yeah, it is a problem, Kent.
We don't know, the flood didn't cover every square inch for a year. Some parts of the world might have been only underwater for a few weeks.
Also, you say the trees could have survived a flood, yet we don't have trees that are, well, we do, but you always want to go to the Methuselah tree. I hate when religious names are used symbolically for stuff and people want to take things literally. In its particular age, yet you don't find, the bristlecone pines that are older, as far as I'm aware, that would be indicative of your Adam and Eve era stuff.
If the crust of the earth, the plates of the earth are shifting around, like in 2011, there was a huge earthquake in Japan called a subduction plate. Part of the
It was off the coast of Japan. That's why there was a tsunami for the Tohoku earthquake.
one of the plates of the earth slid under another one, made a tsunami that killed 20,000 people or something. It was off.
Yeah, you gonna talk about the Boxing Day tsunami? Hi, Mimi. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
How big of a role do volcanoes play in the theory of evolution?
I don't think they would fit into either theory. Volcanoes is a phenomenon because the crust of the earth is all busted up like an eggshell, and some of the plates or places where it broke are still moving. I think those fault lines happened at the time of the flood when the fountains of the deep broke open, and some of them are locked in, stationary fault. Some are still sliding sideways, a slip fault, a strike fault. Some are still sliding under. Just Google different kinds of fault lines. Almost all the earthquakes and volcanoes happen on those fault lines, and most of them are pretty well mapped.
Whether we're Jews or Germans, Norwegians, we all have the same digestive system. God sent animals on the ark. Stories, you think Noah had bacon for breakfast or ham sandwiches for dinner? God created clean animals.
Well, one at a time. No, before they got off the ark, everything was vegetarian. When they got off Genesis 9, God said, now, Noah, now you can eat meat. So it wasn't until post-flood. So Noah didn't have bacon.
So what about the first part? Jews, Germans, Norwegians, we all have the same rules.
We have the same digestive system.
Well, that's what he said. But
Yeah.
He goes on to say, develop some rules.
Okay, well, pass the bacon over to me. I'll eat it. Had it this morning.
These two questions kind of go together. Who do you believe the two witnesses are, and how close do you believe we are to seeing Christ return?
Well, in my book and on my chart and my video series, I believe the two witnesses come when he desolates the temple in the middle of the 7-year tribulation. So after 3.5 years, most Christians are going to be killed, I believe. Because Jesus said in Luke 18:8, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? I think there's going to be very few Christians left to be raptured. Then it said the witnesses witness for 2,300 days. That is found in Daniel 8:14. That's the only reference to that number, 2,300. All the rest of them are 1,260, half of 7 years. Sometimes it's called time and a half, or I cover all that in my book. But the witnesses, the reason I say there's probably going to be 300 days of 3 years of God's wrath, is because that is where the end of the 2,300 days is. So I admit in my book, this is the only thing the more I read, I'm still convinced it's true. I don't know how to prove it's true, but it's never been proven wrong either. But anyway, I believe, to answer your question, it's probably Enoch and Elijah, only because they never died. And the Bible says it's appointed unto man once to die. So if it turns out to be somebody else, fine with me. God can call whoever he wants. I'm a Christian. I'm trying to support Mr. Hovind.
God, this all sucks.
It's difficult at times. I would never make fun of someone IQ working at McDonald's because they didn't get a joke. Okay, well, don't do it then. They knew it was a joke when I got done. I showed them the money. Oh, yeah. They laugh about it. And then I give them a gospel tract, and they took it.
Yeah, because they don't want to be rude, Kent.
Yeah, more questions about why is everything else out in the universe round, we be flat, stuff like that. That makes sense. Hecklers everywhere, it says. Why is the sea salty?
Why is it what?
The sea, why is the ocean salty?
Okay. The ground, the dirt, has lots of mineral salts in it. How many kinds of mineral salts are there, Joseph? Sodium, potassium citrate, potassium. I bet there's hundreds. How many kinds of mineral salts? Like sodium combines with chlorine and makes table salt. There's no single definition. How many kinds? Table salt, sea salt, rock salt, lake salt, specialty salt. That's how many kinds of mineral salts, okay? It's a bunch. Anyway, those salts are in the ground. When it rains, like it's raining here right now, they're going to wash off into the creeks and rivers and eventually run into the ocean. All the rivers run into the sea. The Bible says that too. But in the ocean, the evaporation from the sun takes the water out but leaves everything else behind. It's like a distillery. So the oceans are gradually getting saltier. Can you Google that? Are the oceans gaining salt?
And that salt is binding into minerals in the seafloor. It's not staying saturated in the water, Kent.
Most animals that live in the salt water don't like it. They have to get rid of it somehow, either in their urine or in their tears, or they sweat. Some animals, the tears come out and they're salt crystals. No, the global ocean is not gaining salt overall.
I think we've done this before, and even Google is saying that the salt evaporates, even though we know it stays behind.
If the salt evaporates, how does that happen, first of all? And isn't it going to go back on the land and come right back in?
Right. Excess salt is removed through the formation of sedimentary rocks.
True. It can be locked into rock at the bottom of the ocean. Some of it is encased. It's not gone. It's just encased, right?
That's what they're saying. But for that and for fishing, the yearly gains are offsetting each other. So,
Well, I don't. That they just recently came to that conclusion, because for all of my life they've shown they've been. But I consider a young Earth. I show all the references. The oceans are gaining salt. So they must have realized, oh no, this hurts our theory. But anyway, it comes from the salt on the ground. It gets washed in. Ocean. Now during the flood, it was all fresh water, I believe, and many animals have had to adapt to the salt water. Go back and watch my video number 1. I interviewed a guy who has aquariums, and he had guppies. I think it was guppies, 2 aquariums, and he slowly added salt to one of them. And over, I think, a 2 or 3 week period, they got it up to the same salinity as the ocean. And they survived just fine, slow, gradual. They got used to living in salt water.
in the book of Enoch, it says the giants were 3,000 elves tall. What do you think? That's 4,500 foot tall men. And that's if they use the L as the same as the cubit. If they use the L as 48 inches, they're even bigger than that.
What if you use the L as a millimeter? What's a L anyway?
It's some old English form of,
Measurement.
yeah, they just traded that for the cubit so people would understand it.
Ah,
But it's all Enoch.
Like, I'm sorry, between handling some stuff, I got an email about something not working in my BBS, and just the drabness of this. I'm just letting it play out, and y'all comment. I mean, what can I do? This is just the most drab shit.
that's right. The book of Enoch, 3 books of Enoch, they're right there. A very interesting reading. They're not scripture. They contradict each other. They contradict common sense in many places, like that one.
They contradict Hovind.
And they contradict the Bible. Read them if you want. It's kind of a waste of time, but don't start preaching some doctrine from the book of Enoch. It says, I think it's in the book of Jude, that Enoch said. So we don't know that what Enoch said in Jude is the same as these 3 books. I think somebody read that and said, oh, hey, I'm going to write these books and hide them and claim it's from God, and I'll claim this is it. Anybody
But that never happened with any of the other books of the Bible.
could do that. It's a spurious book. Let's see. Let me see. Also, Jasher, same thing. Oh, hang on. No, let me try Enoch here. I think it's in Jude. Yeah, Jude, which only has one chapter, just before Revelation. Jude chapter 1, there's only one, verse 14. Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied. Okay, so it tells us Enoch prophesied. Do you know that the books that we found that they call Enoch are the same ones? There's no way to tell that. That's it.
Please hurry up and end.
Okay. Joseph, can you start a folder, the evidences that are used for a flat earth? Why do you think it's flat? Email Joseph your best evidence, tech support, T-E-C-H, tech support at drdino.com.
Again, the presumption that nobody knows how to spell tech, you fucking idiot.
We will put it all together and answer it all. They've known from the days of Columbus. Columbus used to sit at the seashore and watch the ships come in. You see the sail, the flag on top.
Everyone who's ever been part of an ocean-going civilization and has stared at the sea because they love the sea, it's so blue, has noticed this.
First. Oh, a ship's coming, then you see the top sail, then the middle sail, because it's coming over the curve.
Yep, he's got to say evidences again. Recall that he brought up the actual passage at one point that says this. There is a Bible passage that says evidences, and uses that, and that's where all of these morons get it from. They won't say evidence. They won't say pieces of evidence. They always got to say evidences. It's like how they have to pronounce it Pharaoh all the time.
For the earth. During World War II, they had to allow for the curvature of the earth to shoot battleships, 25 miles away. It's round. I'm sorry, it's round. If you get this picture in your mind, oh, it's flat. I got it all figured out. There's a dome and all this. Okay, these guys have a picture in their mind too.
They get this picture in their mind. Oh, there's a God, and they made everything, and that explains everything, and I don't have to actually think. Oh.
Wow, that's 200 million years old. They can picture it in their mind. It's got to be true. Oh, Strawberry Dave has got a picture in his mind. He's related to a strawberry. I can just picture it. Can't help you. All right. See you tomorrow at 7 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock every morning. We're going to do this if we can, and 7 o'clock every night.
And I love this shit. He just literally will stream for 2 and 3 hours in multiple sessions every single fucking day. I think I'm bad for streaming. I take breaks. This wasn't planned. I was requested this one. So I don't get it. Yeah, Mimi, I'll let you in. The cat wants out of the room. Cat wants back in. Cats.
On David, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but after that, take any questions. So send your best.
Cut him off early. Let's see. SOTN new world record attempt, maybe? Sovereign citizen tries Article 3 script. Judge shuts it down instantly. And who killed the Star Wars sequels? Disney. That's who. All right, so that was the end of that. Ken hates it because it's Catholic, let's be clear. Dave Farina lives in Ken's head rent-free, yeah. You want to tell any ideas about when AJ is coming back? I have no fucking clue. Can't say anything. I wish he would, though. Go watch AJ's videos and leave comments. AJ, come back. We need you. Go do it. Just put them on a freaking playlist. Set YouTube to make sure to just play and let the fuckers play all through the day, all through the night. Marathon AJ's videos. Give that man some attention. We need a long break from Dr. Whale Dick. Yeah. Again, y'all can blame Rosina for this one. She had to tease with Kent saying stupid shit. Like we didn't find out the Earth wasn't flat until Columbo discovered it. But all right, that was fun though. Well, it wasn't fun, but it was. Y'all are awesome as always. Much love, and AJ made a post on Facebook. I'll have to go check that out. I hadn't seen. And preparing for his second coming. Neat. All right, I'm gonna go do whatever and finish up my evening. Much love as always. Catch everyone next time.